His departure to be rather a christening of flame for the UK's new Brexit Secretariat on his at first trip to Brussels in the new work. Same will barely include a leg via the doorway at the Europe Committee up Same's florid in a barrier of questions. The EU wants clearness on the UK's negotiations stance. Is it relying on Theresa May's Chequers Office Treaty or the next Parliament amendments? Will the UK stance changing once again in a few days or a 1 week's period? The EU's head Brexit mediator Michel Barnier later has else communication Same's Hades bent on supplying. Job in us, he will say to Dominic Raab, to complete the UK's output transactions, the as-called departure treaty. Differently, the chances are growing of the UK breaking out of the EU out of a transactions go March following year. Now overlap of coincidences, fair as Mr. Raab arrives in city, the Europe Committee will issue a document instructing EU governments to do more than to get ready for the opportunity of a not-deal Brexit that, it warns, would include a significant effect on Europe business community and countrymen. The document mentions among some things the capacity instant effect on EU national borders, in consumer goods and human beings, of the UK object to customs officer checks. It predicts the aircraft production could be strongly violated, in EU-UK airline company and occupant rights agreements no much longer actual. It advises how private information transfers to the UK would be object to new limitations and how the Town of London would no much longer include finance passporting rights. The document as well alerts pharmacy companies to the reality how the test of Europe medication could no much longer to be transferred out in the UK in the instance of a not-deal Brexit, and it informs how the UK would include to be remote of EU databases. Opposite to several UK print accountable that propose how the committee's readiness document, as he's named, is creature published now as a outcome of the policy confusion and ambiguity in Westminster, the is thing the committee has been work on for months. The committee likes to say it began its readiness study while the UK by the government began the prayer of no transactions is superior rather than a bad transactions, although how, I believe, is doubtful. I've seen a project of the readiness document but include been said it is a job in advance and will just be finalized on Thursday night, fair in period for Mr. Raab's Brussels arrive. As one elder EU briefcase put it to me, while it comes to Brexit, down there are no harmless timings. Possessing had a lot of backdrop chats in elder Europe officials of deceased, I can say in confidence how the committee document is not just a alarmism workout. Down there is true anxiety in Brussels how, the EU thinks a Brexit not deal script would be a bureaucracy, pragmatic and finance horror for Europe. So wait Mr. Barnier to accept hopeful tones in Mr. Raab, resembling him how the departure treaty is already 80% signed off among the EU and UK. Yet, the 20% leftward is stimulating to say the low, cover flashpoints love information protect, UK war bases in Cyprus and who should police force the departure treaty and next nearly couple year transfer time. On the Irish boundary supporting, wherever both of the EU and UK include taken to escape the de-introduction of a difficult boundary among Northern Ireland and the Ireland everything their position Brexit relation looks love, the committee, I'm said, is work on rewording the minutes in the proclaimed expect how will do it facilitating for crew Theresa May to mark up to. Ex-EU trading formal Peter Guilford said me the 1 week he believes the Brussels rumours how Brexit negotiations will go downward to the cable the fall and it would just be while the committee cut the whites of UK negotiators' eyes how they would begin manufacturing their own compromises instead of ever forging the UK for them. But EU diplomatic corps miracle, can Theresa May hover on plough later?